Ji-Hwan was excited and nervous at the same time. After months of hard work on the human diplomatic ship Horizon Star, he finally got a break. The ship was docked at Tyrellus 3, a beautiful moon covered with glowing forests and crystal lakes. Every year, many different aliens and humans came here for the Galactic Unity Festival. It was a time when species from all over the galaxy met, shared their stories, and celebrated peace. Ji-Hwan wanted to see the festival for himself. He had heard stories from other crew members about the colorful costumes, strange foods, and amazing music. But he was also worried because the festival was very big and confusing for someone who had never been outside a ship's safe walls. Still, he knew this was a rare chance to explore and maybe make new friends. As Ji-Hwan stepped off the ship, the first thing he noticed was the air. It smelled different, fresh, but with a strange mix of flowers and spices he had never smelled before. The sky above was a soft purple, and two suns were slowly setting, casting long orange shadows. The festival was already alive with sounds. He heard laughter, music, and the chatter of many voices, some in languages he could not understand. The streets were filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some looked human, but most were very different. There were tall creatures with glowing skin, others with many arms, and some with shining scales. Ji-Hwan felt like he had stepped into a dream. Ji-Hwan walked slowly through the market area, where vendors sold bright fabrics, exotic fruits, and strange gadgets. He tasted a small sweet fruit that exploded in his mouth with a burst of sourness. He smiled, happy to try something new. As he wandered, Ji-Hwan heard music coming from a large tent covered in shining bioluminescent cloth that glowed softly in the darkening light. Curious, he walked inside. Inside, the air was cool and calm. The music was gentle and beautiful, like a soft wave of sound washing over him. He saw people sitting in a circle, holding hands and smiling. At the center was a young alien girl. She had violet skin that shimmered slightly and large, silver eyes that seemed to glow in the dim light. Her hair was long and white, flowing like silk. She wore a simple but elegant dress made of light, flowing fabric. Ji-Hwan felt nervous but also drawn to her. As if sensing his hesitation, the girl smiled warmly and moved toward him. "Welcome," she said in a soft voice that was both strange and beautiful. Then she spoke again, this time in clear Korean. "You look new. I am Ara. Would you like to join us in a special ceremony?" Ji-Hwan blinked, surprised. He nodded slowly, curious about what this ceremony might be. Ara led him to sit beside her in the circle. The others smiled kindly at him. Ara handed Ji-Hwan a small flower that glowed faintly. Then she gave him a cup filled with a sparkling blue liquid. "Drink this," she said gently. "It will help you understand the ceremony." Ji-Hwan hesitated for just a moment, then drank the liquid. It tasted sweet and cool, and a warmth spread through his chest. He felt calm and open, like he could understand things better. Ara took his hand and held it firmly but kindly. "This ceremony is a joining of souls," she explained softly. "In my culture, it means two beings promise to support and protect each other forever." Ji-Hwan looked around at the smiling faces. They all seemed peaceful and happy. He guessed this was a tradition of friendship or partnership. The music grew louder and more beautiful. The group began to sing together in a language Ji-Hwan did not know, but the sound made him feel hopeful. Ara placed a delicate silver ring on Ji-Hwan's finger. It was cold and smooth, shaped like a small star. "You are now joined with me," she said with a gentle smile. Ji-Hwan's heart raced. He wasn't sure what to say. The idea of a lifelong promise to a stranger from another planet was overwhelming, but somehow the moment felt right. The circle closed and the group clapped quietly. Ji-Hwan looked at Ara, who nodded at him. "Welcome to my family," she said softly. The next morning, Ji-Hwan woke up in a small room filled with soft light. The silver ring was still on his finger, and the flower from the ceremony sat in a glass vase on the table. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Ji-Hwan opened it to find a tall, thin alien man with bright green skin and large eyes looking at him with a serious but kind expression. "Good morning, Ji-Hwan," the man said. "I am Daesik, Ara's uncle. We are honored to have you here." Ji-Hwan blinked. Honored? Why?" Daesik smiled. "You are now part of the Solari family. The ceremony yesterday was not just a friendship ritual, it was a marriage ceremony. You and Ara are officially bound in our culture." Ji-Hwan's mouth went dry. "Marriage? But I didn't know. I didn't mean to. Please, do not be afraid," Daesik said gently. "This is a great honor. You have been chosen by Ara and accepted by our people. We will teach you our ways and help you understand." Ji-Hwan felt dizzy. His mind raced with questions. How would his friends on the Horizon Star react? What about his job? And what did this mean for him personally? But Daesik's calm voice brought some peace. "Take your time. You are safe here." That day, Ji-Hwan was introduced to Ara's family and the small community that lived on the moon. They were welcoming and curious about him. Some smiled kindly, others stared with quiet surprise. Many spoke to him in broken Korean or used translator devices. Ara stayed close to Ji-Hwan, helping him learn small things: how to eat the local food, how to greet others, and the meaning of some words in her language. Despite his shock, Ji-Hwan found himself growing curious and even happy. He never imagined he would have a chance to see the galaxy from this new point of view. Later, Ji-Hwan tried to contact his ship by communicator. The response was short and cold. "Ji-Hwan, return. Immediately. You have caused a diplomatic problem." Ji-Hwan frowned. He hadn't meant to cause trouble. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized that this accidental marriage might not be just a mistake. Maybe it was the beginning of something important. That night, under the soft light of the two setting suns, Ji-Hwan sat beside Ara, by a small glowing lake. She smiled and reached out her hand. "Will you stay?" she asked quietly. Ji-Hwan looked at her silver eyes and the peaceful people around him. For the first time, he felt the possibility of a new life, a life beyond the stars he knew. He nodded. "Yes," he said simply. Ji-Hwan's days on Tyrellus 3 became busier than he had ever imagined. After the surprise of the marriage ceremony, his life changed in many ways. Ara's family welcomed him warmly, treating him like a son. But Ji-Hwan felt both honored and confused. This was not the life he had planned, yet he could not deny a strange feeling of belonging. The Solari, Ara's people, lived in a large ship called the Solari Star Cradle. It was not like any human ship Ji-Hwan had seen. The walls glowed softly with colors that changed like the sky. The air smelled fresh and clean, and everywhere was peaceful. The Solari were known for their love of harmony and nature, even in space. Ara showed Ji-Hwan around the ship. She spoke slowly and clearly, helping him learn her language bit by bit. In return, Ji-Hwan taught her some Korean words and about human customs. They laughed at their mistakes, building a bridge between their worlds. Ji-Hwan was fascinated by Solari traditions. They did not use weapons or fight. Instead, they solved problems by talking and feeling each other's emotions. Ji-Hwan found this new way of thinking strange but beautiful. Despite this peace, the humans on the Horizon Star were not happy. One day, Ji-Hwan's communicator beeped with a message from his captain. "Ji-Hwan, you must return immediately. Your actions have caused serious problems. The human Galactic Command orders you to come back. This marriage is dangerous and could hurt relations with alien species." Ji-Hwan stared at the screen. He had not wanted trouble. But now, his choice had created a big problem. He tried to explain to the Solari leaders, but they were worried too. The elders whispered about humans being difficult and quick to judge. Some asked if Ji-Hwan should leave. But Ara was firm. "No," she said. "Ji-Hwan belongs here now. We will find a way." Days passed, and Ji-Hwan began to understand more about Solari life. He learned how they grew food using light from stars and how they meditated to calm their minds. Every evening, Ara took him to a quiet room where they sat cross-legged and closed their eyes, sharing feelings silently. Ji-hwan found these moments peaceful. He could feel his worries slowly fade, replaced by calm hope. At the same time, he worked with Solari engineers to help improve their ships. Ji-hwan was an engineer himself, and his knowledge of human technology helped the Solari find new ways to power their engines and protect themselves without violence. One day, Ara showed Ji-hwan a map of the galaxy on a glowing table. "We are peaceful, but dangers exist," she said quietly. "Not all beings want peace." Ji-hwan nodded, remembering the captain's warning. "We have to be careful. I want to help protect you." Together they planned ways to strengthen the Solari defenses without breaking their peaceful rules. But the humans were still pushing hard. One morning, a fleet of human ships arrived near Tyrellis 3. The captain of the Horizon Star sent a message. "Ji-hwan, this is your final order. Return now or face consequences." Ji-hwan looked at Ara. Her silver eyes were steady and calm. "I will not leave," he said quietly. "Not now." Ara smiled softly. "We will stand together." The arrival of the human fleet caused a stir among the Silari people. Some were afraid. Others hoped this could lead to new understanding. Meanwhile, on Tyrellis 3, Ji-hwan and Ara tried to show both sides that their union could bring peace, not problems. They invited diplomats from human and alien groups to meetings and shared stories of their growing friendship. Ji-hwan spoke about humans, how they could be strong but sometimes rush to fight. Ara explained Solari beliefs, that true strength came from peace and understanding. At first, many were skeptical, but over time, the meetings helped reduce fears. Ji-hwan and Ara became symbols of hope for a galaxy filled with tension. One evening, as stars shone brightly in the Tyrelli sky, Ji-hwan and Ara walked through the glowing forest near the Solari base. They talked about their futures, uncertain but full of promise. "I never thought this would happen," Ji-hwan said, smiling. "Marrying an alien girl, living among her people. It feels strange, but good." Ara laughed softly. "Life is full of surprises. We learn from each other and grow." Ji-hwan reached for her hand. "I want to help build a better future. For us. For all beings." Ara nodded, her eyes shining. Together. But peace was fragile. Unknown to them, dark forces watched from afar. A group of cybernetic mercenaries who wanted to steal Solari energy crystals prepared to attack. These crystals powered the Solari ships and were very valuable. Ji-hwan and Ara did not know this yet, but their bond would soon be tested by danger. Together they would face threats not just to their lives but to the hope of unity between species. For now they held on to each other, ready to face whatever came next. Life on the Solari star cradle was peaceful and strange for Ji-hwan. He was slowly learning the ways of the Solari people, and in return, he shared his own knowledge of technology and engineering. Every day, he and Ara grew closer, understanding more about each other's worlds. The Solari were a peaceful race. They believed in harmony with the universe and never used violence. Ji-hwan found this beautiful but hard to understand. Humans often solved problems by force or competition, but the Solari solved problems with calm words and deep feelings. One morning, Ji-hwan woke early and walked to the ship's engine room. The room glowed softly with blue light. Machines hummed quietly, but Ji-hwan saw places where the technology could improve. He pulled out his tools and began working. Ara came to help, watching him with interest. "You are good with machines," she said. Ji-hwan smiled. "I studied engineering on Earth. Maybe I can help make your ships better." Together they worked on the ship's power systems. Ji-hwan showed Ara how to adjust the energy flow to make the engines stronger but use less power. Ara learned quickly and was excited. "This will help our ships travel faster and safer," she said happily. Ji-hwan nodded. "And it will help protect your people if danger comes." Meanwhile, the Solari taught Ji-hwan about their ways. They showed him how to meditate and listen to the feelings of others. Ji-hwan found this difficult at first, but with Ara's gentle guidance he learned to calm his busy mind. One evening, the Solari elders invited Jihuan and Ara to a special ceremony. The elders were wise and respected leaders. They wanted to see if Jihuan could truly live among the Solari and help their people. At the ceremony, the elders asked Jihuan many questions. "Do you understand our ways?" one elder asked. Jihuan nodded. "I am learning. I want to live peacefully with you." Another elder smiled. "The galaxy is dangerous. We must protect our people without violence." Jihuan replied, "I will do my best. I want to use what I know to help." The elders seemed pleased but serious. They warned that peace was not easy to keep, especially with enemies watching. That night, Jihuan and Ara walked under the stars. "I want to prove that humans and Solari can live together," Jihuan said. Ara took his hand. "We will face challenges, but together we are strong." Their words were soon tested. A few days later, a warning came from the ship's sensors. Strange ships had been spotted near Tyrellis 3. They were small but fast, and their shapes were sharp and metallic, cybernetic mercenaries. These mercenaries wanted the Solari energy crystals, which were rare and powerful. They planned to steal the crystals and sell them to the highest bidder. If the Solari lost their crystals, their peaceful way of life would be in danger. Jihuan and Ara quickly gathered the Solari leaders. They discussed how to protect the ship and their people without using weapons. "We cannot fight with guns," said Ara, "but we can use our minds and machines to protect ourselves." Jihuan nodded. "I have some ideas. We can create shields and traps that don't hurt anyone, but stop the enemy." Working together, Jihuan and the Solari engineers built new defenses. They made strong energy shields around the ship and set up invisible traps that would catch the mercenaries without harm. As they worked, Jihuan taught the Solari how to use some human technology carefully. Ara helped by explaining the Solari ways of sensing danger and feeling the intentions of others. Days passed and the mercenaries attacked. Sharp ships rushed toward the Solari star cradle like hungry wolves. But the shields glowed brightly and stopped them. Invisible traps caught, some ships holding them still without damage. The Solari stayed calm. They sent messages asking the mercenaries to leave peacefully. But the mercenaries were greedy and did not listen. Jihuan and Ara worked side by side in the control room, guiding the ship's defenses. Jihuan's heart beat fast, but Ara's calm voice helped him focus. Suddenly, the mercenaries sent a strong energy blast toward the ship. The shield flickered but held. Jihuan quickly adjusted the power flow. "We can't let them break through," he said. Ara closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. She felt the fear and anger in the mercenaries, but also the pain behind their greed. She sent a calm wave, hoping to reach them. To everyone's surprise, the mercenaries slowed down and began to pull back. The leader of the mercenaries contacted the Solari ship. "Your defenses are strong. We do not want more trouble." Jihuan breathed deeply, relieved. "Leave peacefully and you will not be harmed." The mercenaries agreed and left the area. After the attack, the Solari elders praised Jihuan and Ara. "Your courage and wisdom saved us," they said. Jihuan smiled, feeling proud but humble. "We did it together." Ara looked at Jihuan with warm eyes. "You are truly one of us now." But the trials were not over. The attack had shown that the galaxy was still full of danger. Jihuan knew he and Ara must continue to work for peace and unity. They had to prove that even very different beings could stand together against threats. Back in the quiet halls of the Solari star cradle, Jihuan and Ara began planning new ways to bring humans and Solari closer. They dreamed of shared missions, learning and friendship between their peoples. One night, as they sat by a window looking at the stars, Jihuan took Ara's hand. "No matter what happens, we will face it together," he said. Ara smiled. "Together, we are stronger than any danger." The stars outside shone brightly, lighting the path for their new life, one built on trust, hope, and the promise of a peaceful galaxy. After the attack by the cybernetic mercenaries, Life on the Solari star cradle slowly returned to calm. Jihuan and Ara worked closely with the Solari elders and the human crew who had come to visit. Everyone was eager to find new ways to keep peace and build stronger ties between their worlds. Jihuan felt more confident now. He had learned much about the Solari culture and was proud to be part of their community. Ara was always by his side, guiding and supporting him. Together they had become a symbol of unity between humans and Solari. One morning, a message arrived from the human Galactic command. It was a surprise invitation to a meeting on the nearby space station Orion's Gate. The message said the command wanted to discuss the future of human-Solari relations. It was a chance to show that Jihuan and Ara's marriage was more than just an accident. It was a bridge for peace. The news spread quickly through the ship. Some Solari were excited, while others were worried. Humans were known to be quick to judge and slow to trust. Jihuan understood the concerns. Ara took Jihuan's hand. "This is our chance," she said softly. "We must be ready." The day of the meeting arrived. Jihuan and Ara traveled to Orion's Gate with a small group of Solari and human diplomats. The space station was huge and busy, full of different species from all over the galaxy. Jihuan felt a little nervous but tried to stay calm. Inside the meeting room, leaders from many planets sat around a large round table. The room was silent. As Jihuan and Ara entered, a human official spoke first. "We have concerns about this marriage and its effects on diplomacy. We want to understand if it will help or harm our relations with the Solari." Jihuan stood up and looked around the room. "I did not plan this marriage," he said, "but I have learned much from the Solari. They teach peace, understanding, and respect for all life. I want to help build a future where humans and Solari can work together." Ara added, "Our bond is real. It shows that different beings can unite. We must trust each other to find peace." Some leaders nodded, but others looked doubtful. A Solari elder spoke calmly. "Trust is not easy. It takes time. But we believe in Jihuan and Ara. They represent hope." The meeting continued for hours. Jihuan answered many questions and shared stories about his life with Ara and the Solari people. Slowly, the mood in the room changed. More leaders began to see the value of unity. At the end of the meeting, the leaders agreed to support a new project, a joint human-Solari mission to explore and protect nearby star systems. Jihuan and Ara were invited to lead this mission. They returned to the Solari star cradle filled with hope and purpose. The mission would be difficult, but it was a chance to prove that their marriage could create real change. Back on the ship, Jihuan and Ara prepared for the journey. They trained with the crew, learning new skills and strategies. Jihuan helped improve the ship's technology, making it faster and safer. Ara taught communication and peacekeeping techniques. One evening, as they rested in their quarters, Jihuan looked at Ara. "Do you think we are ready?" Ara smiled. "We have each other. That is our greatest strength." The day of the mission launch arrived. The crew gathered on the ship's bridge. Jihuan and Ara stood together, ready to face the unknown. As the ship left Tyrellus 3, Jihuan thought about the journey ahead. There would be challenges, dangers, and tests of their trust, but he believed that together they could overcome anything. The first weeks of the mission were peaceful. The ship traveled through beautiful star fields and strange new worlds. Jihuan and Ara worked hard, building friendships with other species and learning more about the galaxy. But peace did not last long. One day, the ship's sensors detected an unknown vessel approaching quickly. The ship's alarm sounded, and the crew prepared for possible danger. Jihuan and Ara stood on the bridge watching the approaching ship. It was large and dark, with no markings or signs of friendship. The captain ordered caution but tried to send a peaceful message. The unknown ship did not respond. Instead, it fired a warning shot near the Solari star cradle. Tension filled the air. Jihuan felt his heart race, but Ara remained calm. "We must try to talk," she said. "Violence is not the answer." Jihuan nodded. I will help. Together, they used the ship's communication system to reach out. The unknown ship finally answered. A voice spoke, harsh and angry. Why are you here? This is our territory. Ji-Hwan replied, We mean no harm. We are explorers and friends. We want peace. The voice growled, Your kind is not welcome. The situation grew tense. The unknown ship moved closer, and the crew prepared for defense. Ji-Hwan turned to Ara. What do we do? Ara closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, trying to sense the true feelings behind the anger. She said softly, There is fear and pain. They have been hurt before. We must show them trust. Ji-Hwan nodded. I will try. He sent a message offering help and friendship, explaining the mission's peaceful goals. After moments of silence, the unknown ship responded cautiously. We will watch you. Do not cause trouble. The danger passed, but the crew knew more challenges awaited. Ji-Hwan and Ara had taken a first step, but the road to peace was long. Back on the ship, Ji-Hwan and Ara sat together. This is just the beginning, Ji-Hwan said. Ara smiled. Together we will build trust. Their journey continued, full of hope and the promise of unity. They knew the galaxy was wide and sometimes dangerous, but with each other they were ready for whatever came next. Weeks had passed since Ji-Hwan and Ara faced the unknown ship. Their journey through the galaxy continued. Each new system they visited brought more lessons, more challenges, and more chances to build trust between different worlds. Their ship, the Solari Star Cradle, had become a symbol. Some called it the Peace Vessel. It carried both human and Solari crew. Together they brought help to small planets, solved disputes between traders, and even stopped a small war before it began. Ji-Hwan had changed. He was no longer just an Earth engineer who married an alien girl by accident. He had become a true leader, someone the crew respected. He still liked to work with machines, but now he also worked with people, solving problems, making peace, and building hope. Ara, too, had grown stronger. She had always been calm and wise, but now she was also bold. She helped bridge the gap between the logical ways of humans and the emotional senses of the Solari. Her connection with Ji-Hwan gave her the courage to speak her truth to both species. One day, a message came from the human Galactic Command. It was from Admiral Song, a respected leader in human space. You have done well, the message said. Your mission is a success. You are invited to Earth to speak at the Galactic Unity Conference. We want you both to share your story. The crew cheered when they heard the news. Ji-Hwan and Ara looked at each other. It was time to return to the place where Ji-Hwan had come from. Time to face Earth. The Solari Star Cradle changed its course toward Earth. As they traveled, Ji-Hwan prepared a speech. He wanted to speak simply and honestly, just like how he had lived on the ship. Ara also prepared. She had never been to Earth before. She read books, watched human shows, and asked Ji-Hwan many questions. Do humans really eat spicy noodles? She asked one night. Ji-Hwan laughed. Yes, and I'll take you to try the best ones. They both smiled. It was strange, but wonderful, how their two worlds had become one. When the ship arrived in Earth orbit, the skies were full of other vessels. Diplomats, scientists, and leaders from many planets had come for the Galactic Unity Conference. The ship landed in a special base near Jeju Island. The air was fresh, the sky was blue, and the ocean sparkled nearby. Ara was amazed. This place is beautiful, she said. I can feel the life around us. Ji-Hwan smiled. Welcome to my home. The next day, the conference began. Many important people gave speeches, but everyone waited for Ji-Hwan and Ara. Their story had become famous across space. People wanted to hear how a simple human and a Solari girl fell in love and became symbols of peace. When it was their turn, Ji-Hwan walked to the stage with Ara. Cameras flashed. The room was full of beings from many worlds. Ji-Hwan took a deep breath and began. I didn't plan to marry an alien girl, he said, and some people laughed. It happened by accident at a galactic festival. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I'm glad it happened. He looked at Ara. She taught me to listen, to be calm, to care about more than just myself. And together, we stopped enemies, helped strangers, and brought peace to places that needed it. He turned, back to the crowd. Peace is not easy. It takes work, it takes trust, but it's possible. I'm just a human engineer. Ara is just a Solari healer. But together we made something special. If we can do it, anyone can. Ara stepped forward. When we first met, I didn't know if our bond would survive. But Jihuan showed me that love and peace are not just ideas. They are choices we make every day. I believe our two peoples can live in harmony. We are proof. The crowd stood and clapped. Some cheered, others wiped their eyes. After the speech, many leaders came to speak with them. Plans were made for more joint missions, more shared schools, and even mixed cities on neutral planets. The dream of peace was growing stronger. That night, Jihuan and Ara stood on the beach. The waves touched their feet. The moon hung above them. I never thought I'd come back to Earth like this, Jihuan said. I never thought I'd find love at a festival, Ara replied. They laughed. Jihuan looked into her eyes. Do you ever regret marrying me? Ara shook her head. Never. Not even for a second. He smiled. Neither do I. Time passed. The joint missions between humans and Solari grew. Jihuan and Ara helped start a peace academy, where young people from many planets came to learn. They taught engineering, healing, and the art of peaceful leadership. They also traveled back to Tyrellis 3, where it all began. The Galactic Festival was held once again. This time, Jihuan and Ara were honored guests. As they walked through the festival hand in hand, they saw many couples, some human, some Solari, some from other races, laughing, talking, sharing. A young human boy ran up to Jihuan. Is it true you married an alien princess? He asked. Jihuan smiled. She's not a princess, but she is very special. Ara leaned down and smiled at the boy. Peace begins with friendship, she said. The boy nodded, then ran back to his family. Jihuan and Ara stood quietly. So much has changed, Jihuan said. Yes, Ara agreed, and we helped make it happen. They looked at each other, hearts full, and though they had faced danger, fear, and the unknown, they had found something greater than all of that. They had found a home, together among the stars,